right. Well, I just got to say I'm so happy to be here. I call this place the Grotto. We are downstairs of Northern Knives and Fifth Avenue Cigar. In their media room, there's an on-air light above the door, and this building makes me so happy. It's full of knives and cigars and everything that makes me happy. And I come down here, these guys are drinking whiskey, we're all smoking cigars, and this is our little podcast forum. So tonight, one of the things we're going to talk about is knife fights. And I have to say, is it weird, like, owning a knife shop and, like, say, I know you guys don't think I'm a real mall ninja, but that's how I started off. But if like a serious
Debatable.
mall ninja comes in with like a trench coat and he wants like a double-edged karambit and a boot knife, do you guys like think, man, this guy's gonna get in a knife fight? I know knife fights are dumb to get into, but does that ever come up? Is it awkward?
You'd never really shame anybody to their face. We're not gatekeepers, you know what I mean? It's like the man still came in here to spend money on knives. You know,
Right.
You got to respect at least that.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying. We all started out shitty, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody started out, I mean, well, most people started out with like a knife they bought at Walmart or at a gas station, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
I never really want to fucking yuck anybody for their yum. Like, he's into it. This is a real weird tangent, but I watched a YouTube documentary on inline skating. And it was like the reason it died is because all they did is shit on all the people who wanted to join. So nobody wanted to join anymore. So guess who doesn't inline skate? Nobody. Because they don't give a shit. Because all the people that ran it were dicks. And so it's like you never want to. Same thing with cigars, and people are like, oh, I want a flavored cigar, or I want, or oh, I'm getting into bourbon, and I bought this, and it's it's the your $30 bottle and your $8 cigar. It's like, no, they're trying, you want to encourage people into your hobby. You want to make your hobby bigger. You want to make it better. You want to make it stronger. You want more people involved. I always think of it that way. Yeah, I might not like his taste, but there's a lot of customers that come in and buy stuff, and like, I would never buy that, but so what? So what? It's he likes it. He wants to own it. Good, own it. Have fun.
I admit I am guilty of that. I rarely will buy a knife if it is not some kind of stabby tactical knife that I would imagine you could defend yourself with. It was kind of cool when I worked on base here, too. Of course, there was no guns allowed on base, but you were able to have whatever kind of, no switchblades or auto knives, but you were able to have a giant hunting knife on your belt, any kind of pocket knife.
Yeah.
So I always would carry a tactical, folder on me at all times. That was kind of cool. But I wanted to look at this knife fight because I've seen a couple, but this one stands out. I know we've talked about what are some of the sayings? Knife fights are the dumbest things you can do.
Yeah, it's not if you get cut, it's how badly are you.
Yeah, and I have also heard the saying that the loser of the knife fight dies in the street and the winner dies in the...
I thought you were going to say dies in the sheets, but okay.
Yeah. So my buddy, who was a cop for 20 years down in Phoenix, the Phoenix metro area, and he sent me a picture one time of a cop that his whole back had just been lacerated open.
Oh, God.
And he sent me that picture, and he goes, this is why cops shoot people with knives.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to go through that.
But I will say, in defense of all the knife fighters out there, a knife is an extreme equalizer. And I've heard this term before. Say you've got some big guy that's, into mixed martial arts, and then you've got a medium-sized guy that doesn't really know mixed martial arts, but he's got like a karambit. That's going to make it pretty equal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the ultimate equalizer.
Well, and I think it's interesting that you pick karambit specifically, because karambit is designed to not only to use, but to not be taken away from you.
Yeah.
And that's real important. Is you got a big old buoy you got 3 inches sticking out the edge, and like you give it to your wife, you're like, hey, defend yourself.
Yeah.
Well, eventually the guy's gonna get ahead of the hand, you get some leverage on the handle and yank it away.
Yeah.
But if you have something that's the handle is smaller than the palm of your hand,
Right.
then the only thing they can grab is the blade.
Right.
And especially with a karambit, they can't grab the handle and it's wrapped around. The only thing I don't like about karambits is that if the attack and the stick, if you can't pull it back out,
Right.
and if they go down, well, it's possibly going to glove your finger and or cripple it.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
right, yeah.
So, you stick a guy and he goes down and he's just going to twist your finger 7 ways from Sunday. Yes,
Right.
he's down, but
Your finger's mangled.
Your finger's still mangled.
Yeah. I have heard, I don't know if this is true, that in a knife fight you get all bloody, and regular knives without the ring, karambit ring, it's easy for it to slip out of your hand.
I wouldn't-
that type of thing.
I wouldn't doubt that at all. I wouldn't doubt that at all.
So let's pull up this video. This is I've seen a few good. These aren't even knife fights. These are stabbings where the idiot goes after somebody with a knife, and it's just, this is so messed up. So let's watch it. And this is, I believe this happened in New Zealand or Australia because of their accent.
Oh, I remember you talking about this. Yeah.
So let's.
Can we describe what's happening for the people listening?
It looks like they're in a mall. There's two groups of young. They're squaring off.
There's a whole lot of posturing. Everybody's got a broccoli haircut, which is odd to me.
These guys are backing up, but one guy's gonna. Let's see if he's got it.
The guy in the white skinny jeans he's
got a
proud.
knife.
Oh, that's the guy with the knife. No wonder he's brave.
Yeah, he got the knife, and then see that guy comes at him, and then
that guy with the shaved head, brave as shit. He's just running up on this
and
dude.
The big guy.
Oh,
there
and then
was
just
the stab.
stick. Oh,
and
look how much fucking
and then
blood is
man,
coming out.
that is how is he still standing? He should be
Holy shit!
Look at his shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
He's
out.
He's gone.
Oh yeah.
So
oh my God.
He didn't survive that, obviously.
Oh my God.
Was that a carotid artery or what was that?
It looked he was doing a good job holding it in. Then
I mean,
it looked.
it had to get him right in the jugular.
Yeah.
That was a shitload of blood.
And it was and it wasn't a bunch of slashing. It was one stab.
Oh yeah, it was pink, and the guy
Yeah.
was blood. Hold my neck, blood on shirt, blood. I'm out.
And then 7 seconds later, he loses consciousness and just falls.
I mean,
Yeah, it's only a 19-second video.
and there is so much posturing before that guy passes out.
And then just so much blood.
My
I mean,
God,
it wasn't
that's
the
rough.
greatest quality, but you could see a bucket of blood instantly on the floor.
I mean, easily. I mean, it sounds weird to describe it in these, but it's probably over a cup.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound a lot, but when you just see a cup of blood thrown on a white marble floor, that's a shitload of blood.
Yeah. So, safe to say that guy shouldn't have even approached the guy with the knife. Never approached the guy with the knife.
Well, and why? If a guy already has gone to the point where he's like, you know what, knife, who is still being the aggressor?
Yeah.
How were you raised? That's don't do shit like that. Well, he's seen too many movies. He's gonna.
Some people think they're real hard,
Yeah, but I mean, best case scenario, you're gonna go to a whole shitload of defensive wounds.
Yeah.
Which means you're still going to the hospital. You're still gonna have some bone damage. You're still gonna need a shitload of stitches. I mean, my last knife injury was 20 stitches in my right hand, and 20 stitches in your right hand is fucking fun.
Well,
that was brutal.
Yeah.
I know it reminds me of the story Dan said, one of your guys' prior employees. He was downtown. He's worked in bars and stuff. He was downtown. Some guy asked him for a smoke, some drunk guy, young guy, and he's like, yeah, fuck you. I'm not giving you a smoke. And then the guy pulls out a knife, or he messed with him, got pushed back, and the guy pulls out a knife.
Yeah.
So what he said is he took his belt off with a massive belt buckle.
Yeah.
And just smashed the guy's hand
Yeah.
with his belt buckle.
Yeah.
And then his friend took him out, and they're like,
That sounds like the smartest thing you could do
Yeah.
at that point. Or someone pulls out a butterfly knife and they do that fancy,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? The flip, and then open it, because you don't open, if you're going to use it for offense, you don't do that.
Yeah.
It's just handle open, pivot, grab, open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if someone does the flip, the first thing you're supposed to do is as soon as they start doing the flip, you just smack their hand. Because then it falls. Because they're only holding it with ends of their fingers or whatever. So as soon as they go out to do the flip, and then they're going to point it at you, you just smack their fucking hand and now they're on the ground.
Did the Balisong guy tell you that? Because I know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a guy that comes in here. He's cool, and he's got $1 million worth of Balisongs.
Yeah.
He constantly buys them.
And he's the one that taught me there's an opening for when you're going to use it against somebody, and then there's an opening to make it look good for the camera. And he goes, the first thing you do is as soon as they pull it out and start flipping, he goes, just smack their fucking hand, because they're going to drop it. They always drop it.
So let me ask you this: and I know it's super dumb, you never want to get in a knife fight, but if you knew you were going to have to defend yourself with a knife, what knife are you choosing? And the other guy's got a knife too.
The biggest one I can find.
Yeah. That's what my buddy did. He got that cold steel folder that's 2 feet
Oh
long.
yeah.
And he said that he would just use that.
Yeah.
and-
You can grab the end, and now you got 16 inches.
like a sword, yeah.
You just gotta fucking give him a tag. And what's he got? Little 3-inch blade. He's
Right.
probably got the whole handle on.
So probably a bigger one.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, it's heavy. You just hit him in the face with it. Just throw it at their face. And then you can do a couple leg kicks and a takedown. I don't know. I'm making all this shit up.
What if you had to have a folder or an auto? What brand are you choosing to bring to the knife fight?
Man, I want the most overbuilt thing I could think of.
I would have a ballistic knife.
Oh, well, yeah. And then you're going to jail. You might as well have a full auto firearm because I think the laws are easier on full autos than they are on ballistic knives.
Yeah.
Actually, you can buy a ballistic knife without the spring, so it's non-functional.
Oh, wow.
And if you use, I think it's an 870, spring out of an 870 shotgun, works in the ballistic knife.
So, define knife. How long can it be before it's not a knife anymore?
Before it's a machete.
It can't be a short sword. It's got to be something, let's say you could conceal. And you can conceal a pretty big knife.
Well, okay, so the longest kitchen
So
knife...
that's you packing heat over there, Chook?
Yeah.
The longest kitchen knife is 12 inches on a chef and 14 on a brisket. And then machetes generally start about 14, 15, somewhere around in there. So you're riding the line, but I mean, you can get a chef knife, you get a 12-inch chef knife. That's pretty lethal.
So for a folder, I'm going to go with one of those folding karambits. I used to have the Spyderco one. It's small. The Fox makes one. I've got one by some Chinese company, but probably a folding karambit that you can flip out. They make them with those Emerson wave things.
Oh,
So
yeah.
You just flip it out, and you've got it in your thumb, and then you've just got a blade on the end of your fist.
Spyderco Civilian.
Yeah.
That nasty hooked serrated blade, or the Matriarch, which is very similar, but they do an Emerson wave on the Matriarch. Matriarch 2, I think is what it is.
The one I had.
That's a pretty... No, they actually made a mini karambit. I had a buddy that loved them, but they discontinued them in 2015 or 2014 or something.
I traded mine in to you guys, and I should have kept it, but I still have a couple folding.
They go for a pretty penny on eBay.
Dude, I should have kept it. But that's what I would get for a folder. As for a fixed knife, which I think is better in a knife fight, I'd carry something scout carry, and I'd probably take one of those little stabby tools. Who makes those? I got a couple of them from you guys.
Nelly.
Yeah, Bassinelli.
I have one. I have an ice scream from
Cardiac Spike. Who makes the Cardiac Spike?
Oh, that's Half Face.
Half Face.
So I have one of those Bassinelli ice scream. It's a ice pick.
Nice.
So I carry one of those during the winter. I don't carry it during the summer because I can't justify it,
Right.
as far as law enforcement is concerned.
Pick my ice.
But that's pretty legit. I think an ice cream would be pretty good, but I think your call on the karambit too. Now that you made me think of it, the civilian would be pretty legit to carry.
The Hollywood movies where the guy always pulls out a K-bar and then, has it pointed down and they just, they get in a big knife fight. I enjoy those. Knife fight.
I think the idea behind it is you go to punch him and it's face down, so you just slash him instead.
Yeah, it's throwing an elbow.
Yeah, it's you're throwing elbows, but the knife's down your forearm.
Yeah, so
you're not supposed to go stab. You're supposed to go, I'm punching.
Yeah, you hold it with the blade down, and so that when you make contact, the spine of the knife hits your forearm, and you use all the force of your forearm to push the blade through that.
And I know some special forces used to teach knife fighting with their knives, and that was typically the way they carried it, right? Or that they would hold it.
Hell yeah.
It's like an accoutrement to it, I think.
Interesting.
It's more get them on the ground. That's mainly what it's about.
I mean,
nice.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
I mean, if I was going to carry a folder, it'd be one of those giant cold steel Vaqueros, the ones that are almost 14 inches.
That's what he was talking about,
Yeah, but it's got finger grooves for both hands, so you can really get some swing
so
in
it's
that.
like a hand and a half sword, but it fits in your pocket?
Pretty much.
But who has pockets that big?
You put it on the outside. Have you seen how big the clips are on those things?
Someone could just steal it from you.
He didn't say it was practical.
Oh, okay.
It's purpose.
Yeah.
I'm also going to go all the way out for my knife fight, and I'm going to have a double karambit in each hand. I'm going to slice myself as I pull it out, and I'm just going to have 2 karambits, a karambit in each hand, and then I'm just full-on berserker mode.
Wouldn't that be, when you said double karambit, the first thing that popped in my head was the stupid Klingon sword weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, the two-handed.
The batlet. It's a double karambit.
Yeah. It's a massive double karambit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think too pragmatically about the conversation, because then I think I don't know, what am I got to show to a jury?
Yeah.
Because if I show a Klingon weapon to a jury, I'm going to fucking jail. It doesn't matter if he punched me first.
You're gonna go to an insane asylum.
yeah, exactly.
And if that's the case, I would almost rather have a slapjack.
Oh,
too.
no, I have 2 of those. I have
'Cause
one
you're
in
not
each car.
You're going to be able to do more of the impact damage, cracked skulls and stuff with something like that.
I had a buddy that used to have a sap hat, right? So the sap was sewn into the crown of the hat, just below, the little top nub on a hat, right? It was just behind that. And he was going through the airport one time, and they, of course they caught him with it. And then, what is this? He goes, oh, no. He goes, I'm a boat captain in Alaska, so I have a weighted hat so that when I'm out on the water, it doesn't blow my hat off. And they're like, okay, continue on. And they gave it to him, and he got to travel with it. Meanwhile, he could just knock you the fuck out with his baseball cap.
Well, it was sewn into
Yeah,
it?
you almost, if he was wearing it and we were sitting at the table, you couldn't tell.
Okay.
But when he handed it to you, it was like, Jesus, why do you have a 4-pound hat? Because it had a big old lead shot.
So in this part right here.
It was in between the snap cap part and the little button on the top.
You take it off and you get some swing in that
Yeah.
bitch.
And so you'd use the bill as the leverage and you just knock people out with it.
I got to get one of those melon hats. I lost mine. But I was imagining a little leather slappy jack that came out and was attached to it on a string.
No, it was just
You're thinking
part
too
of
Batman.
It was just part of the hat. So the whole hat itself was the slapjack. And so they're, what are you doing with this? He's an Alaskan boat captain. Nobody knows anything about Alaskan boat captains. And so, okay, carry on, I guess. Here you go. Here's your dangerous slapjack weapon hat back. Please, welcome to Canada, I guess. I don't know how that works.
I remember you guys came back from Blade Show one year, and you had the double push knife belt buckle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that thing, push knives are mainly, those are for military guys. If somebody's grappling you, you could just get off me and push it into their chest. Yeah.
Because you think about a knife, I mean, it's just basically, it's a stick, right? And so when you grab a hold of it under duress, you don't know if it's upside down or right side up or left or right. I mean, you probably know if it's left or right if it's, if you're really conditioned to know where it's at. But when you grab a push dagger, as soon as you grab it, you can feel the part of the push dagger that goes from your palm through your fingers and into the knife. So the second you grab it, you automatically, without looking or knowing, you know how it's orientated. So you pull it out and you already know how it's orientated. And now it's usable. But if you grab a knife, if you grab a knife and it's, upside down or backwards or whatever, you might be hitting somebody with the butt.
Yeah.
And who knows what you're doing with the rest of it. So I have seen a couple of law enforcement guys who will put that in the small of their back as the last ditch get off me, because you can grab it sight unseen and kind of understand how it's orientated without having to look at it, which I always thought was an interesting point.
When I was in school in New Mexico, my uncle let me bring a skull of a caribou with the horns connected, and I brought it in this massive cardboard box, shipped it, left it in my dorm, and then left for Christmas break. And it just sat there. Came back for Christmas break, and me and my buddy came in the room, and there was all these maggots because we hadn't cleaned the brains out, and all these maggots came out of this skull. It was disgusting.
So gross.
I had a shitload of antler, and me and these Indian guys went to the shop, and we all made this thing we called an antler puncher. I'm sure one of these guys is spending life in jail now, but it was a nasty thing you'd hold in your fist, and it would have 1 or 2 spikes that would come out in between your fingers, and it would be this
so
massive...
the tines would come out between your fingers.
Yeah, it was a massive sharpened tine, and it would just be...
So you're fucking Wolverine.
Yeah. And they were so nasty. And also, that gives...
You go in front of a grand federal jury with that thing, and they'd be like, where the fuck are you from? Alaska. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Well, what's messed up is it would give you a fucked up infection, too. Not only am I piercing your chest with this fucked up antler puncher, but now you're going to have all this infected animal fucking diseases in your chest.
It's a punji stick from the Viet Cong. It's going to rub it in feces and put it in the ground.
Yeah.
A tiger trap, is that what they call that?
I think so. The bungee pit?
Since we're down this rabbit hole of EDC weapons, I have to admit, I still want this thing. As a mall ninja, there's this dude on TikTok that had this viral video. He's selling it on Temu or something. But it's
Is
this
this
kid,
the spring-loaded contraption I'm thinking of?
Yeah, it's this kid. He pulls out this little rod, and then he beep, does that, and it turns into a 5-foot staff in a split second that he's holding. It's just, and then he's, wow, makes this. But I want one of those. Have you guys seen those?
No. Oh, wait. Is this, I've seen the magicians that have one, and they'll put it in a little, and it'll go big, but there's not load bearing. So is this, can this guy use this thing?
Yeah, I'm sure it's hollow because the way it comes out.
I mean, even if it can't hold weight, I mean, even if you get hit upside the face, I mean, you send the other guy to the top of the loop, so now he's got to reassess what the fuck has happened to him, and you've already hit him in the face with this. I mean, even if it's just aluminum and thin walled.
In years, thank you.
Top of the loop.
OODA loop, yeah.
I know there was a superhero that had one of those. I can't remember.
Gambit.
Oh,
Gambit had a staff, right?
He had a staff, but I know there was a superhero that had one that would just pop out too. I can't remember who it was.
Not Donatello.
Daredevil had the batons. I don't think they were spring-loaded.
No. Oh, no, does. He's got his walking cane. That's one of those collapsible canes, but it's different than the normal blind person tapping cane.
Yeah.
It shoots out the bottom. So it's this little tiny thing, and he goes shing, and it turns to this giant titanium rod he just fucks people with.
So I do have a couple of automatic batons. So they're about a foot long, and they're spring loaded. And then you hit the button, and they'll extend to not quite 36 inches. They'll probably go to about 20, 24, something like that.
They're painful.
And they are, yeah. And that's the thing is because I used to carry, in my old Land Cruiser, I used to carry a baton just in case anybody, fuck with me, just sling a baton. And then I just realized you can't, slinging open a baton is not, it's not the movies. You can sling open a limp-wristed bitch, but it's not going to lock. So as soon as you hit someone with it, it just kind of collapses and goes all limp.
Shit.
So if you really want it to do some damage, you gotta sling it for real. And so I realized I had one of these in my truck, and I was like, I can't really do that. Yeah. So I got these automatic ones.
You'll break a window in your truck trying to
exactly.
Extend it.
Yeah, you're gonna beat the shit out of the dash, and this guy's gonna be punching you in the face. So I got these automatic ones, and what I found about these automatic ones is they come out with enough force that it's not going to knock you out, but I can roll down the window. If you come up to the window of my truck, I can roll down the window, and I can pull this automatic baton out. And it's not probably going to knock you out, but if I can just point it at your face and pull the trigger, you're probably going to lose a couple of teeth. Wow. And it's going to buy me enough time to get the fuck out of the car and beat you with it afterwards.
I like it.
So I highly recommend automatic batons. They're not the greatest thing. They're cheap. They're Chinese. They're built who knows where, but it buys you a bit of time, and they come out with enough force that if you got hit in the lip with one, you wouldn't just take it and, you know what I mean? It causes recovery time. Yeah. You'll probably lose your 2 front teeth out of the thing.
If you held it to his temple, would it go right through his head?
No, you need distance because it needs to build up momentum. So if you held it right to his face, you just kind of, I could probably put it to my forehead and it would just kind of move my head around.
Yeah.
But you want a nice amount of distance to let it build up and, and put a hole in his lips.
Why am I thinking cattle prod, but it's got a cigarette lighter adapter, and you have your cigarette lighter set up so it only charges when the car's running?
So we're looking for amps, not voltage. Yeah, we want to stop a heart.
Yeah, I was thinking some dudes prodding on the thing, you just roll it down and bam, and just drive off.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what this does. I mean, ASP used to make them, which ASP makes all the enforcement ones, all the really good ones. I don't think ASP makes the automatic one anymore, so I have an automatic ASP. And then now there's a generic Chinese one that you can still get. And I have one of those, and it's not as good, but it is acceptable.
Nice.
Closing them is a bitch, though, because you got to beat them you got to hold the trigger close and beat them on the concrete, because they lock out pretty well.
Right. So I carried that in my pocket, and it would just be a swinging...
called a monkey's fist, man.
Yeah, monkey's fist.
A smiley, a fucking rope with a nut on it.
And I'm pretty sure that
That's some hardcore shit.
Yeah, those are illegal in Seattle now, I'm sure.
As is everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to ask you about this story, Mike. Now, it's been 5 years when I was really into the whole Instagram EDC thing. Yeah. There was a time I was obsessed with these little nooks, and I'd have my hanky with my knife and all my shit on there, and I'd have 2 or 3 fingered nook that I ordered from somebody off of Instagram. And I remember we were doing a pocket dump, and I had one of those. We were passing around, and you told me the story about, don't carry that in Alaska.
Yeah.
So what was about the whole biker thing?
So I keep a 2-finger knuck on my nightstand next to my bed too.
Mm-hmm.
But so I have this on pretty decent authority from the president of a local biker club, motorcycle club.
Do you not
we'll
want to
say.
give them a shout out? They're the only predominant one in the state of
No,
Alaska.
I am not going to say their fucking name.
They're the only predominant one in the state of
Don't
Alaska.
care. Don't say their fucking name. But I have it on pretty good authority that in Alaska it is illegal to because we have a very big biker culture up here, which people don't realize. Oh, why would Alaska? I don't know, but we have a giant biker culture up here, and when we try to sell knives and stuff, anything that covers 2 fingers with anything other than plastic is illegal. So you can't sell it. So any, a trench knife from World War I, even though it's a collectible, it's illegal to sell up here because you can't. It's a collector. It falls under collector law. But so I was talking to this with my unnamed friend, and he talked about, he goes, do you know about biker brass knuckles? And I go, I have no idea what that is. He goes, yeah. So because of how big the culture is up here, the way we would get around that is you would just wear 4 rings. And so
Those big, massive rings, too.
And so, in effect, you're wearing brass knuckles. And so, there's a law in Alaska against 4 rings on all 4 of your fingers, and it's colloquially called biker brass knuckles. So, you cannot wear 4 rings in Alaska on all 4, on the same hand, because they understand what you're doing. They understand that you are now, in effect, making brass knuckles while getting around the law.
And they also don't allow 2-finger knuck.
Yeah,
either.
2-finger knucks are illegal up here. 3, obviously 3, 4, but yeah. So if it covers more than 1 knuckle with anything other than plastic, so you can have a machete up here with a brush guard on it, right? So you're swinging, and you don't want the alders getting into your knuckles or whatever. That's fine as long as it's plastic. So we sell a lot of bushwhacking machetes and bushwhacking stuff up here, but it has a plastic guard.
Yeah.
But anything with a metal guard over the hand, we can't sell up here. It's illegal, and it's one of the only knife laws we have up here. And it's actually not a knife law. It's an assault law, I guess. It's a personal protection law.
Yeah.
It's not a knife law. In fact, in the law itself, it says nothing about knives.
Yeah.
It's specifically only regulated to beating the shit out of somebody. I mean, even brass knuckles specifically, you can own them, you can carry them, you cannot use them.
So I almost bought a pair once. There are some companies that make polymer or plexiglass brass knuckles. Would those be legal since they were made of plastic?
They're legal to own, they're legal to carry, they're illegal to use.
Even if they're plastic?
It doesn't matter what they're made of. Because
that'd be a Marfion custom.
Yeah, it's using them.
Carbon fiber ones.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
milk.
Okay.
Yeah, we had carbon fiber ones from Microtech. Right?
Paperweights.
Yes,
That's all they
they're
are.
They're paperweights. They're very cool. You can go to the fair or whatever and buy them as paperweights. That's very cool. And you can own them, and you can possess them, and you can carry them. But as soon as you use them, they're now a weapon, and you're fucked.
So what if I'm attacked by a meth head on the street, and he's a zombie, he's trying to gnaw my leg off, and what am I going to do? And I grab a big roll of tinfoil, and I spend a minute as he's gnawing on my leg. Yeah, forming it around my knuckles until I have a weapon.
I imagine
And
the
then
judge. I imagine the judge would be pretty sympathetic on that case.
I imagine the judge would be fucking enraptured by the fact you have one
Yeah,
leg
like-
left.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sacrificed a leg to punch this dude with tinfoil, you're free to go.
Gotcha. And then, so is it the same kind of thing with a slapjack? Because I thought they were legal for a
They
while.
have organized crime ties, which is why they're forever going to be illegal everywhere.
It's the same thing. Is I know it's legal to own. I know it's legal to carry.
Yeah.
I don't know under which circumstance it's legal to use.
Right.
I'm going to point out right now, hashtag not a lawyer.
Hashtag not a lawyer.
Do not follow
this is
our
not,
advice.
Oh, no. I'm just a fuck face with headphones on. Do not listen. Do not trust me. I mean, if you want to, cool. But
We're going to have that tag at the end of every episode.
hashtag don't listen to me or hashtag not a lawyer.
Hashtag not a lawyer, FYI. Although we are spewing personal opinions, it is not legal advice.
Yeah.
Everything I have it's coincidental from talking to law enforcement officers.
Apocryphal.
Yeah, exactly. So you talk to them about this, talk to them about that, and well, it's the same thing as when automatic knives were illegal up here. And it's it's
For a while, they were illegal, huh?
Yeah, and it's constitutional carry. And most officers would say, look, I kind of don't give a shit about the automatic knife in your pocket. I give a shit about the 45 you bandito carry in the back of your belt. And it's just don't get caught in the commission of another crime with an illegal knife.
When did they become legal?
2013.
Really?
Yeah, in fact, I have one of the pens upstairs that was used to sign the bill to make them legal.
And then Chad said he said you guys would know what this was about. He said, bring up the guy on Independence Day that flew up into the UFO's asshole. Something about him. Did he have a special knife or something? No. I don't know what he said. You knew what he would mean.
No, Chad brought that up specifically because so he wanted us to do these interludes in the podcast where it would be Randy Quaid would be out there and be like, hey, shitter's full. And it would show him emptying the shitter from Christmas Vacation.
Right.
And then he was like, no, you need to have him flying up into the base of the alien spaceship and yelling, was it fuck you? What does he yell when he flies up into the alien spaceship? Up yours, that's right. And so then what we thought it would be funny is if he would fly up, we would show the video of him flying up into the alien spaceship, but we would dub over shitter's full into that. And
vice versa.
And vice versa. And so Chad thought that was fucking stammeringly hilarious, which I gotta agree. I think that is pretty funny.
It will happen at some point.
So he's planted the seed with you to get you to fuck with us. But I do say him flying up into the base of the UFO and yelling "shitter's full" is pretty fucking funny.
It's very on brand.
Oh shit!
So we wanted to talk about gravity knives, and I actually bought one from you guys. It was 2 or 3. It was about 2 years ago, maybe 3. But it was the weird triangle-shaped Riot knife that split apart, and then you flicked it out, and then. It took a little bit to get it, but I know they have another one, and there's a couple different versions of that gravity knife. But you guys were saying that those are insanely popular right now?
I mean, they're coming up on unobtainium. When they first came out, the secondary market went crazy, and we still get them. We still get them occasionally, but they don't last long at all. Like we put them up on the website, and it's like even previously when we get them as a trade, they last a day or two, something like that.
Yeah, so
they go real fast.
The thing seems to be that the first and second gen they did had no safety, so you could just do it willy-nilly. And then the third and fourth gen have a really cumbersome, almost CRKT-esque safety on them.
I will say one of the greatest fidget spinners.
Yeah.
For not owning a fidget spinner.
You
that
only
I've
have
ever
one
owned.
sitting behind you.
Oh, there we go. So I should talk on the mic.
That's a gravity. Okay, that's
so. This is a
different.
3D printed gravity knife here.
Wow. Where did that come from?
A customer bought it at Blade Show, I want to say.
Okay.
And gifted it to me.
And does Riot make this model?
Yeah, it's basically the exact same function, but Riot makes it out of titanium and good steel and all that stuff.
So the one I had was the triangle one that you'd have to push this ball, and then the sides would come apart.
Oh, really?
And then it would slide forward.
That's one of the newer ones with the safety on it.
Yeah, it has a safety on it.
And
this is one of the OG ones where it can just fall out.
They still make the OG ones in smaller quantities, but I guess some laws got passed in some states and around the world against them because they're too easy to
Oh, you mean
use.
people realize that these are federally illegal and decided to make them
specific
actually
laws.
illegal?
Yeah.
All right.
So
I mean, I don't see why. I mean, come on now. I mean, a combat Troodon is infinitely more dangerous than this turd.
Right.
But, But it does make a nice fidget spinner.
Oh yeah, ultimate fidget tool. That's
Yeah.
why I liked it. I got tired of it after a while, and I was, well, I'd rather have a solid folder, you know, than this thing, because sometimes I wouldn't do it right, and it would be kind of just awkward trying to flip it out.
Yeah, this is very much. I want a very nice, very well constructed, very well machined fidget spinner, and I get that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm not getting in a knife fight. Well, not that I'd get in a knife fight, but I'm not getting in a knife fight with this thing. This is ridiculous. Hold on. Chink, chink, chink. Hold on. Didn't work. Hold on. Let me push it back in. Okay, hold on. Bing, chink, chink. Okay, no, wait. Hold on a second. Let me put it back in.
Oh, yeah. Under duress, you would most certainly mess it up while you're trying to flip it out.
You got a whole bunch of you got a whole bunch of adrenaline going through your veins. You're gonna open that? No, you're going to the top of the loop 15 times in a row.
Yeah.
You're gonna get stabbed or knocked the fuck out.
I still find it funny. Some of the tactical stuff we sell that people are like, I'm going to use this in a knife fight. And that's overly complex.
No, you're not.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You have the dexterity of a 4-year-old.
Right.
When that happens, it's not happening. You need something a 4-year-old could pull out and deploy. That's the barrier for me.
Something you guys told me once is those, little Microtech out the front. I always thought that they were super weak because it's such a thin blade, but those are surprisingly pretty strong, aren't they?
Oh yeah. No, I really hesitate to say anything bad about Microtech. I've owned, I don't know, 17 or 20 of them over the last couple of years. I really, I think they're fantastic knives. And Microtech is very good about using premium products, premium materials, making them as robust as they can. And they've really come leaps and bounds on their reliability. You know what I mean? You look at a Navy Scarab from, let's say 9 years ago or whenever they made them, and then you look at a Scarab 2 that was made, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
The difference is amazing. I would take the modern Microtech over the older one, and the Navy Scarab was not cheap, but it was a great knife. Just what they've done with their mechanism and refining their process and everything they've done over the last, let's just say 4 years, is fantastic. Microtech has really killed it with making it more mass market. You know what I mean? Because it used to be to the point where you'd try to sell a Microtech or someone and they can't close it.
Right.
And we used to have a running joke in the shop, and I don't mean this as a sexist bullshit kind of thing, but someone's, I can't close it. And we'd be like, hey, Lori, come over here. And we'd give it to Lori, and Lori would and she'd close it.
Right.
And then hand it back and be like, I'm a girl and I did it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's not like that anymore. Their machining and their tolerances and their spring tension and everything is so good anymore that anybody can do it. Anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you can give it to a 12-year-old kid, no problem.
I think by premium materials, you mean hard use materials, right?
Yeah.
So like they use really good blade steel. It's not going to wear down on you. It's going to last you a lifetime. You can
M390
fry with
MK.
it, do all sorts of crazy shit with it.
Yeah.
They use high grade aluminum, which doesn't have a crystallized grain pattern to it when you take the finish off, which is rare. A lot of other manufacturers that use aluminum, you do that and you can see that it's not the same as forged milled aluminum. They use forged milled aluminum.
Yeah, and we source a lot of them.
You probably remember this, Dakota. I was obsessed with the Boba Fett version of it. And I'd be, save it for me. And then to the point where
it matches your shirt.
Yeah, I needed money, so I sold the first one. And then I was, why did I do that? Save the next one that comes in. And then I bought it a second time.
Yeah.
And then I just got sick of it. Stupid Boba Fett. And I'd rather have, you've got, what is it called? The Combat Trojan, or what is it called?
Combat Trojan, correct.
Trojan, yeah.
Combat Trojan.
I said Trojan.
Trojan.
Combat Trigicon.
Yeah, it's the French or Israeli version.
Nice. And speaking of combat, so I'm going to, at the time of this recording, I'll be flying out for SHOT Show in about 5 days. And one thing people keep asking me about, I think there's going to be some more 10mm offerings. I'm not a big fan of Turkish pistols. In fact, I kind of hate Turkish 1911s. But Gerson and EAA
But they're
are coming
shotguns.
out with a new version of the Witness that's going to be supposedly in 10 millimeter and 45, and it looks really good.
Really?
I mean, it's got all the bells and whistles, and
All right.
if that's true,
Take some pics and vids.
Yeah, that's going to be. And I did get in. I don't know who got me in, but I got into Industry Range Day because in order to get into Range Day, you have to be sponsored by a company. And so I still don't know who sponsored me. I asked 2 different buddies.
Specify company.
Any company, gun company or ammo company that's going to be at the Range Day.
Oh, no worries.
Or shot. No, they got to come to the Range Day. They can sponsor you. I don't know if this has changed.
Where's the Range Day at? Are you going over to the battlefield?
I don't know where they have it. It's off-site. It's at some range. There's always bad weather. They said every year there's
so it's
weather.
outdoor.
It's outdoor.
Oh, I was saying because you can go over to Battlefield over behind Circus where the tank museum.
Yeah,
Battlefield's pretty legit.
Yeah,
I love Battlefield.
It's like on the edge of Vegas. It's outdoor. But I asked my buddy if he said he might have one more spot, and then he was, I didn't hear back if I got you in. But then I contacted him. Nope, you're in. So I get to go hands-on. Hopefully I won't be limp wristing too bad. Yeah. Well, I'm excited because I guess they get pissed when, God, I hate influencers, but influencers set up tripods and all the gun companies in the booth are just so sick of, you're going to take 10 minutes to set up your stupid tripod.
Of course.
So a lot of channels will film each other, but I've got the new Oakley meta glasses, Cyclops one. I've got.
So you can use the metas and and not piss everybody off and just
just turn it on and get a first-person view.
Good thinking ahead.
Yeah, so that'll be
fun. That's good.
But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I actually had a shirt made at the Diamond Center that says, "But does it come in 10 millimeter?" So one of the days I'm going to wear that. And
when you said "but does," my mind went somewhere else.
And I don't know if I'm going to do this. I probably should bring it in case I decide to. But just to piss people off, I was going to wear a full Olight outfit around SHOT Show. At the Diamond Center, I had a black Olight hoodie printed up. And then they also printed me up a black baseball cap with the Olight logo on it.
As much shit as you talk about Olight, dude, I would love to see that.
I'm going to bring it, and I think that maybe for half a day, I could just wear that.
Just rocking full Olight gear.
Just to be called a shill, and just to, I think people that know me would just crap
No,
out.
are you? Yeah, you're a gay fisherman out of Seattle.
Seattle, that's
there
right.
You go.
Commercial fisherman.
We need to get you a rainbow fisherman fucking outfit and a Seattle Seahawks.
So I'm excited about that, but I don't know what kind of trends are out right now. 10 millimeter has just made a huge. That's what I built my whole channel on. Is just started off with the Glock 20. I mean, originally the 10 millimeters, there were some old Smith & Wessons. Then they had that Delta 1911, and then Glock came out with the Glock 20.
Yeah.
And then I came out in 2010 and was just, this is what we use for bears. And then it kind of put me on the scene. It got more popular and more popular up here, and then it just spread. And 4 years ago, it just exploded.
Yeah.
Everybody's putting
Well, you have that video about confronting liberals.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's your highest viewed video.
Yeah, got 500,000 views.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest thing. I was out on this bear hunting trip with Chuck from Alaska Ballistics. We're across.
Shout out Chuck, good guy.
Yeah, he's funny, but he's super serious. So I thought he was going to fucking lose it. So we're out here hunting, and we're on these little grassy knolls on each end of this little lagoon, and so he's
Was there a
there.
lot of Kennedys hiding out in those hills?
Well, he shot a black bear, and he used a 7 millimeter. It was TSXX, whatever, copper rounds, but they were going too fast, so it was just making little laser holes through the bear. So he shot it 10 times, and I'm looking at it going, shoot it again, shoot it again. But it wouldn't die. He just kept shooting it, shoot it again. But anyways, we killed one bear, and then so then it was my turn. I was trying to kill a bear. And there was these 2 very liberal progressives, and they come walking through, and we're like, they're interfering with our hunt. They're walking through right where we're waiting for bears to come out, and they didn't see me at first, and then the guy stops when he sees me, and I'm holding a blue Nalgene bottle, And you know, I'm dressed Green Beret from the 70s. I've got all.
So you're Rambo in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned that. I miss it when you used to hunt dressed up. You were in Afghanistan, shoot. But I had the scarf and the shamag. And everything.
Yeah.
And I was holding this water bottle. It was a blue Nalgene bottle. I'll never forget it. And I stood up because he was ruining my hunt. I was like, really, dude? I stood up, and then he stopped, and he's, hey, are you pointing a gun at me? And I was, it's a fucking water bottle, and I held it up that. And then and his friend was trying to calm him down, but it was one old guy and one younger guy, the long hair, ponytail, walking sticks, and then he just started stomping right through our hunting grounds. And he saw the carcass of one bear, and he's, oh, he killed a bear, disgusting. And so they just stomped around, and I had to call him Chuck down because he was just shaking. He was about to freak out. He's, oh, they're ruining our hunt.
They're desecrating our hunt.
They're desecrating our God-given right to hunt these bears. And so I had to calm him down. Thankfully, they finally left. But then I did this whole video, and I had a picture of me wearing that outfit. I had a full tactical vest on the picture. I wasn't wearing that, but I could have been because it was all Army stuff I was wearing. Yeah. And then I had the picture of a screaming liberal. And it was
the lady, the white liberal lady is on the thumbnail.
Yeah, with the glasses.
I see it all the time.
Yeah. And the title of it was When Hunters Meet Progressives in the Woods of Alaska. But yeah, but it was a true story. And then everybody commented, in most states this is true, but in Alaska, it is illegal to, what do they call it, to interfere with a hunt.
Oh, really?
So what those guys did was completely illegal.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can't harass hunters and interfere with their hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're lucky up here. We have great laws concerning some things. For instance, you can hunt with an AK or an AR with a 100-round magazine if you want. And every time I talk about it, there's always some guy from Wisconsin that's, you cannot hunt with that magazine. And in Alaska, you can.
Yeah, you can.
I could have a drum magazine if I wanted.
Yeah.
And they do that because a lot of people in the bush, they hunt, polar bears and walrus with their AK.
Yeah.
And, it's just cheaper for their ammo to get it.
Yeah.
Well, SKS is pretty popular, too.
Well, it's so many
yeah.
people who, hunt whitetail from their backyard and don't understand how fucking hard it is to hunt an animal in Alaska.
Yeah.
You don't understand what alders are. You don't understand fighting through it. You don't understand getting dropped off at a beach and going to 1,600 square feet, 1,600 feet elevation.
Devil's Club. They have never fucking encountered it.
Yeah,
or Queen
and
Anne's
fighting
Lace.
that and dragging a deer down, and it's. I mean, I've done the math on how much every time I have a black-tail double cheeseburger. And I've done the math. A black-tail double cheeseburger cost me $75.
Yeah.
And I am happy to pay that because it is the hardest fucking hunt I've ever done in my life. And you don't have to do windage, right? With blacktail, there's no windage. They really don't care about noise, but just fucking finding one is so hard.
Yeah.
It's so difficult just to get your ass on top of a blacktail and get it, especially out in, it's easier. There's other islands where it's easier, but where I go in Kodiak, it is.
If it's not snowing, then it's really
ruthless.
hard.
It is ruthless kind of hunt. If you're not doing squats and fucking deadlifts and fucking cardio all year to prepare for this hunt, good fucking luck. You ain't getting anything.
Yeah. And that's the best game meat in Alaska, in my opinion, too.
Yeah.
Blacktail. It tastes wild beef, too.
Oh, yeah. Blacktail is the most delicious shit I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, I sporterized a Mosin once. Not in the Archangel stock, but I put like a scope mount on it.
Yeah.
And it couldn't hold zero for shit. It was just completely shit. But I sporterized an M1 Grand, and that was one of the most accurate guns I ever had. I would get a literal bullseye at 100 yards in the middle of the target. And what the weird thing about it is that it actually clamped the scope mount onto the barrel itself.
Yeah.
It was the opposite of a free float barrel. But for some reason, that thing was just extremely accurate.
I've owned a few Mosins, and I had one that after 4 rounds at the range would overheat and it wouldn't lock.
Oh, wow.
Really? I've never owned a Mosin, so I guess I don't know.
They like it's roll the dice because they're all made under duress on factories that are actively being fucking bombed.
Yeah.
So sometimes the machining's not the best.
Factories that are actively
God,
being
I miss
bombed.
the days when you could buy one. I remember buying one for $150.
I think
and
I-
then shortly after that, then the prices start going up and up. Now they're $400, right?
Oh yeah.
I think the last one I got was $70.
Wow.
And that was
Wait,
the one that was
you paid $70 for a Mosin?
2008,
Yeah.
2009.
Oh, okay.
Still.
It's fucking almost 20 years ago.
Well, that's the last time I was into them, and
All
like
right.
I was so unthrilled with the action after using it. I was just fuck this thing.
Did you clean the cosmoline off? Was it wrapped in cosmoline?
It was 100% wrapped in cosmetic. It had a sticker on the back that said Pakistan. And he was like, yeah, whatever.
No,
Just
it
clean this off.
was wrapped in weird crepe paper on the oil, and I had to put that thing in a bath of WD-40 to clean it off. It sucked.
Yeah, I baked some of the parts and then put it in a black trash bag to heat up the cosmoline and scrub it off. But yeah, it's a beautiful smell. I love cosmoline.
Sounds like you motherfuckers owed a lot of SKSs at this point.
SKSs. Those went way up in price too. Now
It feels
those-
like this 6-pound fucking milled motherfucker.
I mean, back in around that time period, Mosin Nagant $70, SKS was maybe 200,
Yeah.
and an OK AK-47 was $350.
Yeah. I remember.
those days are gone.
Oh,
way
I remember back in the day when a Wasser 10, when a Wasser 10 AK was like, those were the shit ones. You don't want those because they had the what was it? They had the wobbly they had the wobbly
Handguards
mag.
off and-
Yeah.
Mag
And so
weld.
yeah,
Mag
exactly. And so you had to put the little pieces of steel and weld them in on the side so it wouldn't wobble left and right, so it would load correctly. I remember that.
I mean, that's a testament to the design that you can have that slop and tolerances and it still
And
fucking
it's
functions.
still
Yeah.
fucking functions. Yeah.
Wassers. Even a Wasser is $900 now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
it
I
blows
bought
my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Dude, I bought my first Wasser with 1,000 rounds for $250, $300
God.
something like that.
Wow.
It's like, oh, dude, I'd buy 100 of them today if I could get it at that point.
You hate overlanding?
You too can be happy if you spend $8,000 fucking
Oh
dollars.
yeah, that is pretty lame. Yeah.
It's
Oh,
corporatized.
no, it's the
Everything, yeah.
gatekeeping
Yeah.
of overlanding
It
that
is
fucks
super
us all.
gatekeeping. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I have, for 2 years, I had a $180 Amazon tent on the back of my 4Runner. It was super cool. It was, instead of having, a $9,000 rooftop tent, I had this just little, whatever, nylon tent that had all these connecting points to connect to a hatchback. And it was still what we call vehicle-based camping. Vehicle-based camping is still a form of overlanding.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a hatchet and an axe and 10 gas cans in an expensive rack on
You
the
don't-
side of your Tacoma.
You don't need a whittle watter?
Yeah,
Whittle watter?
Whittle watter on your TOD pool on your thing. And
Touche.
God, I had so much fun for 2 years. And now I've got the Jeep. And I've gotten lucky so far. I mean, we are this is the coldest winter I remember in a
Yeah.
long
Oh,
time.
yeah. And, coldest winter
It has been,
in 25 years?
there's been at least
So you rock a Gladiator.
Wrangler, Willys Wrangler.
A base
Oh.
model Willys Wrangler, so it's
Base
got
model
the straight
Willys
4 turbocharged.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
So you don't have a Gladiator. You
I was going to get a Gladiator,
Okay,
but
all
they
right.
wanted so much fucking for them. And they did go
so
down in
much money for
price.
the Glads.
So I ended up getting a green Willys Wrangler, 2025. Got a great price on it, and it has been so cold. I mean, we've had, how many days has it been over -20? It's at least 3
Yeah, it's
days.
a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the coldest winter ever, and the new Jeeps have the auto start in the app. It's not even
yeah.
the auto start
Yeah.
key fob. You just open the app and push a button,
Yeah.
and it starts it up and warms your car up. And it's been perfect. I haven't had any problems. I mean, it's still fairly new, so we'll see. I've heard some nightmares about Jeep owners having electrical problems in the new Jeeps.
Oh, yeah.
And I know they're not as you know, dependable as a Toyota, but God, I've had so much fun with that Jeep already. So we'll see. I probably will put a rooftop tent on it. But right now I have the cheap little hatchback tent that connects to the hatchback, which is a lot
Why
of fun.
not do like a little, what do they call them? Spam can.
It's a
tow
spam
along.
can.
Little spam can, tow along.
I don't those because there's trails I have to go up to be all in. I stealth camping. If I just want, I'll fold the seats down, sleep in the back. But man, I have to say those rooftop tents, even though they're cheesy, some of them are expensive, some are cheaper, but I have never had so much fun. 4x4 into the top of a mountain, finding a level spot, throwing the rooftop tent up, and then what I do is I bring 6 extra inches of memory foam and then put it up there, and you feel you're, you know, on a queen size memory foam bed.
I remember that was.
Oh my God.
That was luxury.
So comfortable. So,
You remember?
yeah. So I'm probably going to get another rooftop tent this upcoming summer, just because that some of the most amazing memories I've ever had. And then you just get it got to the point where, you guys remember when I was living out of the Tacoma? Because my freaking realtor fucked me. I sold my house, and they said, oh, but now there's problems with the house you're going to move into, so it's going to be a couple months. And that was because contractors can do whatever they want here. They just pick whatever job. And It's hard to find work. And so I was living out of this Tacoma. Luckily, I had the rooftop tent and, you know, the cool air, very comfortable bed. After 2.5 months almost of living in this, once I moved into a house, I got claustrophobic because I went from, you know, being up elevated with these mesh screens looking out and everything to being 4 corners and just blank wall. It started giving me anxiety. It was weird.
A little bit of cabin fever.
Yeah, a little bit of cabin fever. But yeah, the overlanding is ridiculous. How everybody has to have like 40 grand worth of crap in their, you know, $90,000 rig. But man, is it fun.
Yeah.
I do have to admit.
I do the concept of overlanding, but the the gatekeeping bothers the fuck out of me.
Yeah. So bushcrafting, the whole concept of it's just a lot of fun. The problem I have is all the fucking gatekeeping. I even have one of those wooden bushcraft cups for my coffee, which is really fun to use, the spoons and everything.
Yeah.
But everybody on the fucking internet, if you didn't carve that yourself, you're shit.
Oh, yeah.
And so, no, I ordered it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Who cares? I like it. But just the bushcraft knives are amazing.
Yeah. I have an SE4 I picked up just the other day.
Oh, this thing's amazing.
The whole concept of bushcrafting is so fun. But yeah, the gatekeeping makes me sick. In fact,
the thing that kind of quantifies it for me is I met someone who was really into bushcrafting, and they went to a flint knapping seminar, and they sat there and watched flint knapping for 27 hours.
I dislike you on a level that I can't explain.
You know who it is, I'll tell you afterwards. But I was just, oh my fucking, and we were enraptured by this, and I'm just, cool, that's great. How does that, I mean, it just comes across as masturbation. Look at me, look how amazing I am.
Because of those people,
my stroke is so far.
I'm going to order a bunch of fat wood off of Amazon just to piss those people off. but
you just soak some cotton balls and Vaseline and light that bitch on fire. Call it a day. Super simple.
Some of the stuff is cool. The feather sticking. Having a ferro rod. I mean, that stuff is so fun when you're out camping. And
I mean, that takes a bit of talent.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers need to learn this. That takes a bit of talent.
Yeah.
But the whole tri-stick thing, where you do, I think it's 12 different angles and a stick, and it's a bunch of different tools. I understand the concept of learning how to use your knife and doing that as a practice session, but some people seem to enshrine it in some sort of weird ritual that they have to do every single time. I don't know. I've gone camping with people who go a little crazy overboard. My shelter's done. And they're like, no, it has to be right. And they go way overboard and in depth, and I'm just like, that's not going to help you. Good enough
not
is
gonna-
alive.
You
Well,
made
it's
a
not gonna
bushcraft
it's not gonna
shelter?
save you from dying.
So you went on a bushcraft trip and made a
No.
bushcraft shelter.
No,
Yes, you did.
I
If you went out with other bushcrafters and you made anything called a shelter, that's a bushcraft trip.
so this is called going out with a group of a couple different families,
Okay,
and you go out and it's all right. We're going to teach our kids some skills. And we're going to have a
Okay.
good time.
that's fair.
And they're on hour 4 of making the perfect picturesque bushcraft shelter.
Yeah.
And I've already got my tarp up. I got the bottom tarp up. I got the top tarp up. I found a tree. Works great. Sling it over some ropes. Done. Water's not coming in here. We're good to go. 45 minutes max.
Yeah.
And they're on hour 6. And it has to be this perfect thing with pine bows and everything else.
They're making feather sticks the whole time.
No, I wish
Like,
they were. But it's
Hey,
it's-
feather sticks.
It was this weird kind of gatekeeping thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the knives.
It's forbidden knowledge. I have the forbidden knowledge and you don't, kind of thing.
Bushcraft knives are really affordable. That's one
Oh,
thing I
they're-
like about them.
yeah.
They're super affordable. They're very high quality. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. This has been a lot of fun. We're having a blast with this. And Old Man Folders and the Mall Ninja Kid, we give you different perspectives and we talk about knives and all kinds of guy shit and Alaska shit and talk shit. And we're just having fun with it. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Mall Ninja Kid.
Thank you, Old Man Folders.
There we go.